Go away, you swine! Leave, or I'll make you bleed!
These all came from the swamps. Could be toting contraband.
Holmes! Help me! Do not fight the calling!
Blood!
I beg of you, Holmes! Today! Relieve your blood!
Oh, no. No, it can't be. It can't end like this. Again, this nightmare haunts me. It won't let me forget. How did this all begin? Good morning, Holmes. Looks like a typical London day. Fog in the morning, fog in the afternoon. Ha! And here's a surprise. Fog in the evening.
Good morning, Watson.
Can you imagine? I have been at it since 5 a.m. and I scarcely think my list of patients for the day has even been touched. What is more insufferable, I haven't even had a moment with the morning paper. They say the minister will assuredly... Holmes! Whatever is the matter? You haven't heard a word I have said.
It is the tedium, my dear Watson. Life is ordinary. The papers are lifeless. Any hint of audacity, and dare I say romance, has vanished from the criminal world.
Holmes, it is only temporary. You know perfectly well that sooner or later an exceptional incident will occur in London or thereabout, which cannot rest till the talents of Sherlock Holmes are called into play. Then it will be up to your agile wit to set things right, which should satisfy your constant need for mental gymnastics.
I hope the heavens hear your words, Watson. I hope they do indeed.
I must take my leave, Holmes. I have an appointment with a rather odious man, Captain Stenick. He is apparently in a state, with near tachycardia due to some problem involving his manservant. Why don't you get out for a brisk walk, Holmes? Perhaps buy a newspaper or visit that fellow, Barnes, over on Glentworth Street. You might remember him, the bookseller. He has some new volumes of the particular sort that should occupy your mind for a time.
The Strand! The Strand! By the Strand! 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 By the Strand!
So, my young friend, what is the news?
Nothing of interest for the great detective, sir. Those old stuffed shirts ate up half of London at their big scientifical to-do, and some Scandinavia princess is driving the locals wild with curiosity.
A Scandinavian royal is in London? If you and the lads can look sharp and find out more about her visit, there will be some coin for your pockets.
Righto, Mr. Holmes. If there's aught to be found, the irregulars will have it. I'll send the words out to the lads.
It is necessary to keep my informants in fighting form. Pardon me, I'm looking for the Barnes bookshop. Would you happen to know it?
I know the place, know it well, Mr. Holmes. The bookshop is on Glentworth Street. Take your first right and then the next left, and you'll find it straight away.
Pardon me,
I know the place, know it well, Mr.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. How are you? I have some new novels that should interest you. A nice illustrated volume on fish and a collection of legends on piracy. They must be here somewhere.
Ah, the pirate's book. A book about sea fauna. I will take them.
Thank you, and goodbye, Mr. Holmes. What can I do for you, Mr. Holmes?
Holmes! Here!
Ah, it's good that I've found you, Holmes. As I told you this morning, I've visited Captain Stenick. Although his symptoms are not serious, the circumstances which caused his palpitations are quite peculiar. Perhaps you can make something of it. Here is Captain Stenick and Sergeant Ruffles.
Captain, I understand from Watson you are quite upset.
Any man will be the same, and with less provocation. My servant has left in the middle of the night. Damned ungrateful after all I have done for him. To top it off, he knows not one word of English. Finally, if he causes any damage, I will bear the brunt of people's anger and suffer the consequences, as I am the person who brought him to England.
How long was he in your employment, and is he accustomed to vanishing in this manner?
We returned from Australia more than 5 months ago now. But to his credit, he never left this house before now. He is afraid of the city, as are many inhabitants from open spaces.
Could he have stolen something?
Upon my word, no.
How much money does he have on his person?
Frankly speaking, he didn't have any money. I kept his wages for him, and they are in my safe. In any event, what the deuce would he have a need for money?
Who knew that he worked at your home, and had he any contacts here in London?
Anyone who deals with me professionally knows Baopa is my personal servant. As for his contacts, they are limited to the delivery men who bring food or other items to my home. What reason could he have to see anyone other than myself?
Now then, Sergeant, what is it about, and what elements of the crime do you have documented?
Referring to the official report, the following particulars were taken down. A young Maori responding to the name Baopa was reported missing by his employer, Mr. Stenick. No one in the surrounding area saw or heard anything relevant to this incident. In truth, we rarely concern ourselves with cases such as this, but the lad speaks not a single word of English, and according to his employer, has considerable strength. Considering the wild customs of his native land, who knows what damage he could cause? You must know, Mr. Holmes, there have been a few similar cases reported recently. The facts are much the same. Immigrants from the poor districts have been reported missing by their families. We expect that some low-class brothel has opened its doors to the local exotics, and Mr. Holmes, you can imagine how word would spread. Mark my words, with his unique looks and speech, we'll find this boy in no time. I imagine he'll have nothing worse to show than empty pockets and a delighted air.
That is a possibility, to be sure. However, I would be most grateful if you could ask your superiors to send me the reports about those similar cases. I rely on you, Ruffles. Watson, continue your search here. I must follow another lead. Flaxen, yellow in colour. The lock was not cracked. What a peculiar drawing. This appears to contain some measure of opium. I shall analyse it at Baker Street. Footsteps. Let's see. The size is undoubtedly 7. The shoes are also hard-soled. Footsteps. Let's see. The size is undoubtedly 7. The right shoe is missing a nail. Footsteps. Let's see. How strange. This appears to be a fish scale. I shall have to examine this more thoroughly under the microscope. Yes, there is something here. Yes, there is something here. This should prove useful. Yes, there is something here. Yes, there is something here. Fibers. Why are they here? It will be necessary for me to examine this more closely at Baker Street. Come, Watson, we must return to Baker Street.
What do you make of this, Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Stenick, I wish my news were your servant simply left your employment voluntarily for the service of a more honest man. Unfortunately, I don't have that pleasure. In truth, the news is grim indeed. Your servant was seen in the company of 2 men yesterday. One of the 2 is a man of moderate size, very robust, and a mature age. His profession, which will be the key element in our investigation of this affair, will be determined by me within few hours. The other is a young Hindi who is tall and only recently arrived in England. There is a darker side to these events. Your man was not with them by choice. Rather, the evidence shows he was kidnapped. At this moment, the reasons behind this villainous act are unknown, but rest assured, the truth will not elude me for long. Gentlemen, I wish you a good day. Come, Watson, we must hurry. There's a great deal to do and little enough time to spare.
Holmes, I must protest. You did not spare my client, Captain Stenick. This seems unusually harsh.
That may be, Watson, but now what matters more is to know the reasons behind the kidnapping of this young Aboriginal yesterday evening in central London, and more importantly, what has become of him. I must concentrate on a small experiment I will run to test my theories. Please go to the poor Lovelorn Barnes and ask him if he has something on the Maori nation and its traditions. Also, if you should happen to see the newsboy outside, find out what he knows, and if it has value, give him a coin. And for God's sake, don't be a miser, Watson.
A miser? You cost me one of my patients, and you question my level of generosity with your informers? Oh, really, Holmes, sometimes you go too far.
My analysis is not finished. Very interesting. The meatball ignited but failed to burn completely. There are, without a doubt, mustard seeds present, probably in exotic form. What could be the other components, I wonder? Now it can't be used for anything. Now it can't be used for anything. Now it can't be used for anything. This is evidently coal soot mixed with water, and given the absence of any salt particulates, it must be fresh water. I should look from the window and see where Watson is.
There's a good lad. How does it go?
Hello, sir.
My associate, Sherlock Holmes, said you might have information for him about, now, what was it?
The princess, Gov. He was looking for the scuttlebutt on this here princess what we visiting. Exciting goings on. Her bodyguard went missing the first morning after she got here. Nice job to look after a princess's body, innit, sir? They say he went out on the town having a go with the ladies, if you get my meaning. Like as not, he was trapped by some gang of toughs. Otherwise, who'd get the best of him? A proper giant he was, by all accounts. Do I get me coins then, sir? Oh, thank you, sir. Obliged, I'm sure.
Good morning. Has your sprain improved?
Good morning, Dr. Watson. It is slowly showing improvement. What can I do for you?
Would you happen to have a book on the Maoris?
If I have one available, it would be on that bottom shelf, although I'm not sure if I still have that particular book.
Please don't trouble yourself. I will look for it. Good day.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Holmes, what on earth did you say to Barnes to put him in such a state?
Not now, Watson, although I'm sure this bit of news is most significant. It must wait. We are piecing together a singular affair. This abduction story is much more complex than it appears. As I noted before, our next move is to locate the place of employment for one of the villains who abducted the young Maori. What part of London would such a man call home? Your intentions are good, my dear Watson, but you have missed everything of importance. Yes, Watson, there is little room for doubt. Our man is a bargeman who works at the Thames River wharfs. He is more precisely employed to transport and handle fish brought in by various ships. Our next step is obvious. We must find a cab and make haste to the Thames, near the warehouses.
Why did we come here, Holmes? Brrr, it's rather sinister here, and so cold.
Precisely, Watson. Ah, good. Here's a pub. We can warm ourselves inside.
Excellent, Holmes.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. This is private property. There's no entry here. I'm sorry, gentlemen. This is private property. There's no entry here.
Good day to you, sir. Could you serve up 2 of your best pints and some information, if you please?
My pleasure, sir. What can I do for you?
My friend and I are looking for a man who works one of the fishing boats at the docks. The name of the ship escapes me, but I do know for certain fact it has a coal-fed boiler.
In truth, there are dozens of such boats that lay anchor here every day. What can you tell me about the look of him?
Only that he is a robust man, about this size, wearing iron soles.
Little help there. You've just described half of my customers. I have nothing for you. Here now, look for a man called Harper. He lives in a house not far from here, after the bridge near the warehouses. You can't go wrong finding his place. It has a large anchor painted on it.
Either way, I am in your debt. Please tell me, for curiosity's sake, what troubles your friend?
He's been waiting ever so long for a new wooden hand. It was to be here yesterday, but still no sign of it. He is quite low and has taken to the drink.
The devil! Last night a nasty flea woke me, and me with only the hook on me scratching hand. And to add to me worries, imagine last summer I had worms.
Worms?
Yes, worms is what it was. A sudden attack in the middle of the night, again with only the one hand, and that blasted hook on the other. In me misery, I used the wrong hand. Lord, I was unable to so much as sit for 3 weeks.
Well, gentlemen, again thank you. Have a nice day. This old rope seems intact. No trace of soot present. No one is here. Excuse me for disturbing you, but I am looking for a man named Mr. Harper. Do you know him? He lives just opposite you.
He gone. Boat.
Watson, I know this accent. These people are Nepalese, and as luck would have it, I am familiar with this dialect.
Nepalese? Holmes, are you sure?
Ahor Nitra. Chigong Senitra.
Nito. Bo Petro. Toro Mitro. Doka.
This woman says her family has suffered a grave misfortune. This altar is for her son, a lad of 16, who disappeared just 1 week ago.
Could he have run away to sea, or some other youthful adventure?
Il koga bratsen, but presindra kum.
Bo Petro. Toro Mitro. Ka. Waekta. Dorikoto. Nito. Tro. Petro.
She said a man was seen in the area making inquiries about her son and their family. The man worked at the docks and had a silver eye. Yes, exactly. He was a vile man with 1 silver eye. Malinhe gas. Sundre broket hado.
Odaliga. Toro Mitro. Ka. Petro. Doka. Nito. Waekto Rikota.
She also says her son's belongings are on this altar. She says we may examine them and take anything that might help find her son.
But what does this have to do with Captain Stennick's servant?
This is not Nepali. It looks like silver, but judging by the weight, it's a fake. Watson, it appears this young man is ill. Be a good man and see how serious it is.
Here now, my young man. Let's have a look at you. Oh, Holmes. This man isn't ill. He's drunk. He fairly reeks of alcohol.
It's not my fault. I swear it. My head. This gang of young toughs. They forced it on me. And then on top of it, they stole my parcel.
What's that? You say you were forced to drink. Explain this and spare no details.
Yesterday afternoon, I was given a parcel to deliver to an address not far from here. I was near the warehouse district when a gang of young lads attacked me. Before I could think, they drew knives and gave me a bottle, telling me if I valued my life, I better drink it all. Well, let me tell you, I drank without stopping. I became giddy, and then must have passed out. I remember nothing else, except waking up a moment ago, finding myself alone. My parcel gone.
But what could they have wanted, Holmes?
It's obvious, Watson. They were seeking some poor soul on whom to test their vile concoction. Tell me, could this bottle be the one they gave you?
I can't say. It could be. I feel ill just looking at it.
It has a unique flavor. Rather tasty, I might add. There's no mistaking my senses. This contains turnips. In fact, a liberal amount.
But where are you off to, Holmes?
Watson, it is time to seek out the distillers of this unique brew. If they are located in this district, they may have much to tell us. Hello to you again, sir. I won't waste time. We have discovered new details that may lead us to this elusive seaman. Most significantly, the man has a missing eye and wears a silver ball in its place.
By God, that can be no other than Dirty Summers. A nasty brute, that one.
Where could one find him?
He must have signed on with a ship, because he was here last night looking to hire some men.
How did he behave while he was here?
He gave me extra to secure the private table behind that curtain. During his time here, men of all sorts came and went seeking positions. However, he seemed nervous and fearful as his knife was unsheathed and ready the whole of the night.
May I examine this table behind the curtain?
Certainly, if it will help.
These cuts seem quite recent. There are 4 symbols. That part of the warehouse seems...
So, what about it?
I am missing something.
So?
I assume this is your special recipe?
That depends on who's asking. If it's the law, then I have nothing to do with this. If you're a customer, 2 shillings gets you a taste.
A fair price indeed. Unfortunately, this vintage is a bit full-bodied for my taste. But I would be very happy to recover a parcel that went missing near this very spot.
What?
One other thing. Have you seen this before?
Yes, I saw it. One of the dock workers, an odd sort, gave it to a gang member, Brannock. He wanted Brannock to join their gang or I don't know what. Must have been nigh on 2 weeks ago. 2 days later, he went missing and not a word since.
This man who gave your friend the pendant, can you describe him?
Not very tall, strong, wearing a red cap and he with a hare lip. You could likely find him near Warehouse 12. He told Brannock he worked there.
Thank you. By the way, my friend the postman feels badly used. You should change the recipe.
Oh, I was sure of that. Turnips weren't near rotted enough. Maybe they need a longer soaking in the gutter water. Now, off with a pair of you. Have you found anything of importance, sir?
Good news, sir. Here is what you were waiting for.
Oh, thank you, sir. I could kiss you.
Here now, you can't just leave this laying about like that.
Lord love you, the scrapers ordered here as well. Come now, let's celebrate with a drink.
This should prove useful. What a pity. The window is closed and the front door is barred. We must gain entry. But how?
But why in blazes are we breaking in? Ah, Holmes!
I need something.
Bravo, Holmes!
Ah, it bites! A splendid catch, Watson, but I prefer to let it go. After you.